listening to the Mark Bradford Alchemy for Life podcast.
Ask the next question. Hey there, welcome back. I hope your quarantine journey has been an interesting one and that you've continued to do things that are things you wouldn't normally do. You've taken an opportunity to maybe explore a few things that you would not normally explore because you A, didn't have the time for it, and B, didn't have the arrangement in your life, if you will. So adjusting to this new normal, perhaps you've done a few new things, and maybe one of them is to listen to a podcast like this. And if you are, then I very much applaud you. And along the lines of curiosity and learning, that brings up today's topic, which is ask the next question. It seems really simple, but let me break it down. When you're going through life, you will have noticed that there are people who are curious and there are people who are not. There are people who keep asking questions about things and they want to learn more. And there are people who accept the first answer and accept a lot of things that they just assume. I'm going to put you in the former category, the people who are curious, because people who are curious and want to learn typically listen to podcasts like this. So once again, I applaud you. There's more to asking questions and curiosity than just curiosity. And what I also find is that curiosity and knowledge tend to supersede intelligence. And what I mean by that is the standardized IQ test and our standard ways of measuring IQ don't really allow us to truly embrace and understand what role curiosity plays. It's an amazing, amazing thing. And the basis of curiosity and the basis of learning a deeper knowledge than, let's say, the average person around you is asking the next question. So what do I mean by asking the next question? Well, if you're curious, you're going to come up with the first question, which is, wait, how does that work? Or why do they do that? And if you get the answer via learning or asking people who are in the know, you may get the first surface answer to it and say, oh, okay, that's how that works. But wait, it still doesn't make sense. Why do they do it that way? Why is that like that? That's that next question that keeps things moving. Let me give you a kind of a silly example. When you get off the freeway on an on-ramp, you'll notice they go up a hill or they go in a circle, right? Pretty much. They're not flat. And our first question is, well, why is that constructed that way? And of course the answer is because it wants to reduce the acceleration of things, cars, trucks, and everything. We use gravity and centripetal force and everything against us to slow the vehicle down. Well, the next question might be, well, just how much of a curve does there need to be, and how do they figure out the curve? Or how much of an uphill incline does there need to be? Well, and your friend standing next to you while you're listening to this says, well, who cares? Well, that's true. Who cares, right? But it is kind of fun to explore that next question, because the next question is what might reveal something that may make you go, whoa, okay, wait. And you'll learn a principle that applies to something completely unrelated to the thing you're learning about. And I know I keep using a lot of vague words, but I don't want to make this a really heavy podcast with lots of example after example after example and talk about a genre that you're not interested in. So I want to make this broad enough so that if you have an interest in art, or if you have an interest in physics, or if you have an interest in management or people or what have you, that I'm trying to tell you that all this of asking the next question applies. And it's so easy to not, especially when you move throughout corporate America or other sorts of foundational parts of life. You'll find that asking the next question sometimes isn't very convenient for the way that things are to be done. And what the other bookmark on the other side of ask the next question sometimes is, rigorous discipline and a systemic way of doing things, right? Because if you ask too many questions, you kind of get in the way and you kind of mess things up. In business, you will find that small businesses and solopreneurs and people like that typically ask the next question quite often because they're always exploring. I mean, they're explorers and testers at heart, and they want to see how things work, and they have the luxury of knowing that they can turn on a dime. They can go, how does that work? Let me pivot over there, if you will. And corporations are very slow-moving things, and they can't really afford to just say, hey, what's over there? Look at that squirrel. That's a cool shiny thing. Let's see what that is. Because in some cases, it wastes the time of thousands of employees and can be horrible for their bottom line. If you're someone listening to this, you're again fit in the former category of someone who is a solopreneur or someone who possibly has the control over their management style, their way of approaching things, that they can ask the next question. So I want to impart to you, as I always do in these podcasts, a takeaway of when your curiosity is fed, maybe ask for a little dessert and just see how that is. Just try that as homework until the next podcast. Try something as simple as, if you ask the next question, see where that gets you. Does it get you in trouble? Does it make you even more curious? Because you may be surprised that you then ask the next question. And you may turn into one of those people, like me, that when you come upon something that is very unusual or different or something that you say, wow, I don't understand that at all. Obviously, it's a thing, but I don't understand that at all. And you delve into it. The next time you have to talk about it with someone or the next time you encounter it, you seem like an expert. And you may not be an expert, but you'll come across as one because you'll have really done the research. And I think the world would be a much better place if people did ask the next question and find out just what's under the surface, because there'd probably be a lot less assuming, a lot less misunderstandings, and a bit more of, perhaps even a bit more empathy between people. That's it for today. Thank you for listening. And again, I hope that you stay safe and sane and productive in a way that makes you satisfied. If you are having difficulty adjusting to the new normal, my very first podcast when this all started was called Welcome to My World. It's a tongue-in-cheek way of explaining to you how this sort of thing works and how I've dealt with it for 15 years or so. And again, it's more of a tongue-in-cheek, but it does address some things that may help you stay sane and adjust to working from home, working remotely, being self-directed, not adding another 150 pounds to yourself, all that good stuff. So take care, and I'm really appreciating that you listened. And I want to say hello to my newest listeners in Africa. Hey there. Bye-bye. Hey, it's me again. Thanks for listening. 2 things for you. If you like this, I'd really love that you rate it on iTunes or Spotify. Would love to have the stars that are appropriate, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. And the other thing is, I do have a new book out, and I would love for you to take a peek at it. It's called The Sword and the Sunflower. It's on Amazon as a Kindle as well as a paperback. Thanks. Just a little blurb at the end here. Take care.